Okay, now let's look at how to graph a parabola in a graphing calculator. And so the first thing I want to do is kind of clear everything out. So I'm gonna first go second stat plot and make sure that all these are off. So if you notice that one's on right there, and that just means there's going to be a statistical plot in the background. I'm not going to want that. So I'm going to hit enter right here. And all I'll do is it's on here and I want to move it off. So I'll take this cursor and move it to the off button and hit enter, and then I'm done. So I'm going to just quit from here. And just to check, I'll go back to stat plot. See, now they're all off. Quit there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to y equals, and I have some equations here, old equations. I don't want them here, so I'm just going to clear them. Clear it there, and that's easy enough. Once I do that, I'm ready to get started. So let's look and see what particular parabola we want to go. So this is the parabola that I want to graph right here. So what I want to do is I want to go to y equal right there, and I want to plug in this equation right there. I can use a fraction, but I'm going to use a decimal. I'm going to go negative 1/2. Now, what's strange about graphing calculators, this is the negative sign, and this is the subtraction sign. And though in math those are exactly the same, not in this graphing calculator. So I'm going to go negative 0.5. There's my x button right there. It's x t theta n x. And then I'm going to raise it to a power. I'm going to use this caret button here, raise it to this power of 2. Then I'm going to plus 4x, and then I'm going to go plus 3. And then I'm good. I'm just going to graph it. Now, if you notice this, where this equal sign, that needs to be highlighted. So if you notice here, it's not highlighted, it means it's not going to graph. So it's going to automatically be highlighted, but if you ever want to check on that. So now I'm going to graph it. I'm just going to hit graph. And it may look like the way I want it or not. That's a pretty good graph. If it wasn't exactly the way that I wanted, I could hit the zoom button here. And zoom, I could zoom in and out, but there's a really nice feature that's right here, zoom 6, and that gives me a zoom that the computer thinks is appropriate for what it is I'm graphing. It's always a good place to start. And I go there, and there you go. Now that's a pretty good graph there. I'm going to actually zoom a little bit out because I can't see the vertex there. So I'm going to hit zoom. I'm going to go down here to zoom out and press enter, and then enter again. It gives me the same graph, but just a little further out. Zoom out works just like it does on Google. So then you think, well, what is it that I want to find here? Well, one thing I want to do is I want to find the vertex. And to find the vertex, what I need to find is either the maximum or the minimum. So in this case, since it opens down, the vertex is going to be right there. That's going to be the maximum value. So to find that, I go to second calc. And I can do a lot of different things here, but here I want to go to maximum. And it's going to ask me for last bound. So if you notice here, when I move this up and down, see how I have a little cursor there? I'm going to want the cursor, and it's got to be to the left of where the vertex is. So here it is right here. It's left bound. I'm going to hit enter. And this is right bound. I'm going to have to move that cursor so it's to the right of the vertex. It doesn't matter how far to the right. Just make sure it's to the right of the vertex. So hit enter. And then you put guess. Guess, you can just put enter here. Or if you want to, you can move the cursor closer to where the vertex is. It's just where the computer starts to look for it. Hit enter. Takes a little while, and there's my vertex right there. It's 4 and 11. Another real easy thing you can do with the parabola is you can plug in a number for x, and you can find the value for y. And the way that you need to have it graphed, so let's say you were here, you would need to go ahead and graph it. So hit graph. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to hit second calc, and see where it says value? That's where I plug in the value of x. So I plug in a value of x. So I'm going to plug in a value of 5 and push enter, and it gives me the value of y. And I can do that for any value of x I want to. So let's do another one. So I go second calc, and I'm going to plug in a value of 14. And it gives me a y again. And let's do one more. Let's do a value. Let's do 35. Well, that works as well. Let's do one more. Value 100. That one doesn't work. Now, let's think about why that doesn't work. The reason that doesn't work is because when I graphed it, let's go ahead and graph it again. When I graphed it, 100 wasn't on the graph that I saw. So what I need to do is I simply need to zoom out. So I go zoom out and enter again. It gives me my graph, but it's zoomed out. Now when I go second calc value and I plug in 100, and that gives me my value of y. You could also change the windows, and we could do that in another video, but at least an easy way to hack your way through this is just zoom in and out. Anyway, that's how you find the value of the parabola and you find the vertex of the parabola. In the next video we'll look at how we find the x-intercepts.